Lights. The other way. Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupananda Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Radhe Radhe. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha, Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam, and it has already been posted by Jiva Pavana Prabhu. So if you don't have it and you need to follow along and you don't know the words, then the words are present there. So thank you, Prabhu, for that. Dandavat all Vaishnavas. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavashtra Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Arjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pavam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Shri Krishna Lila Kathane Sudaksham Kaudalya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Nārayanam Tvam Shrirasham Namami Vidandinam Bhakta Shiram Manichan Shri Krishna Padānyatayika Hriddi Chaitanya Lila Saram Nārayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine. Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Preshthaya Bhutale Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prajnana Keshavayundi Namine Patimartya Charitraya Swashritanancha Paline Jivanrukhe Sadarthaya Shri Rama Premadayine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabharani Devi दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बद्ध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदान श्री गौर करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये निगतारिणे रूपानुगम्यरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगमरायते गौराविर्भावभूतेस्त्वं निर्वेष्टा सजनप्रियं वैष्णवः सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो मम मन्दं मतेर्गति वत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनं दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिसेव्यमानं स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवत्तत्ततस्थितः कर्षन्तेनुस्मरैर्गो गोपीनाथ श्रीयैस्तुनः वृन्दायै तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहापापनिर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावनजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं जयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं कलो नास्त्येव नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Jai Jai Shri Guru, Prema Kalpataru. Oh, Sudevi, can you please bring me the mridanga? Just today, Sudevi was telling me, she's like, Janardhan wakes up at like 1 o'clock in the morning every day. So, you're sacrificing your sleep to help us engage in our Guru Seva. For that, we cannot repay you. Page 29, Jai Jai Shri Guru, by Vaishnava Das. Jayo Jayo Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru Adbhuta Jako অদ্ভুত যাকো অদ্ভুত যাকো অদ্ভুত যাকো গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ গুরু পরম্পরা 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 গুরু পরম্পরা গুরু পরম্পরা 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 গুরু পরম্পরা। श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, रूपान गौरी गुरुवर्ग की जय, श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय। Now we will call out for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Jai. की रूपे पाएवो सेवा मुई दुराचार page 45। दंडवत प्रणाम वैष्णवस। की रूपे पाइबो सेवा मुई दुराचारो श्री गुरु वैष्णवे रति ना होइलो या पाइबो सेवा मुई दुराचारो श्री गुरु वैष्णवे रति ना होइलो या अशेष मायाते मगन वैष्णवेते लेश मात्र रति ना जन्मिलो अशेष मायाते मगन होइलो वैष्णवेते लेश मात्र रति ना जन्मिलो विषये भूलिया अंध होइनु दीवानिशी गले फांस दीते फिरे माया से पिशाची विषये भूलिया अंध होइनु दीवानिशी dinayaro nahi ko payo adoshadarashi prabhu patitayudharo evaro naro tame koroho nistaro adoshadarashi prabhu patitayudharo evaro naro tame koroho nistaro. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jai Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jai Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jai Vaishnava Thakur. Prabhu Kripa Koro, More Doya Koro, Kripa Koro, More Doya Koro, Prabhu Kripa Koro, More Doya Koro, Kripa Koro, More Doya Koro. All Vaishnava Thakur ki Jai. So just in case you were wondering, again, I did not sing the first verse again because it goes back into the woe is me mood. How can a wicked person like me ever attain devotional service? I have not yet developed any attachment to Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. It's always best to end with the prayer. So as I was reading along with the translations, I saw that actually the last one was the most appropriate to end with instead of the first verse, where Narottam Das Thakur is saying, "O Master, you never see the faults of others." That's our great hope. Because if they were looking at our faults, we would be hopeless. But they're actually looking at our potential. And you are the savior of the fallen. Now please deliver this Narottam Das. So when we are singing this bhajan, we are also applying this bhajan to ourselves. O Master, you never see the faults of others, and you are the savior of the fallen. Now please deliver this Kishori Mohan Das, and state your name, as Gurudev would say. So, praying to Narottam Das Thakur that a drop of his mood of humility and prayerfulness will manifest in our hearts, but also we should apply these bhajans to ourselves. And not only sing them for the tune and the sound of it, or the meter, but also sing the meanings of them. What? No. Where? Oh, I'm coming to Vrindavan for very little time. I want to request you and ask you. When are you coming to Vrindavan? What time? We'll have to check our schedules. It would be very nice to meet you. And then also we have a request for Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Okay, we will do that later. Srila Gurudev said about Jamuna, what did he say she is?
She's liquid bhav.
Liquid bhav. That's pretty amazing. Liquid bhav. So, okay, now we will call out for the mercy of Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. Vishaya Vasana Rupa Chitera Vikar Amar Hriday Bhava Kore Anibar, page 48 in our songbook. I can see that we have a bumblebee in our midst. she catches the little nectar drops that come out and immediately does kirtan of them so that the smaran will be impressed within our heart. Very, very nice. Okay. Śrī Rupa Gosvāmī Pād ki jai, Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī Pād ki jai. Vishoyo vasana rupa Chitero vika by Srila Bhaktivedānta. Vishoyo vasana rupa Chitero vika Amaro hridoye bhoga Koreyaniva Amaro hridoye bhoga Koreyaniva Kato je jatanno yami Korila moha Kato je jatanno yami Korila moha Nagelo vikaro buddhi Sheshe prano jai Nagelo vikaro buddhi Sheshe prano jai E ghoro vikaro more Korilo yastiro E ghoro vikaro more Korilo yastiro Shanti na pailo sthano Antaro yodhiro Shanti na pailo sthano Antaro yodhiro Śrī Rupa Gosvāmī more Kripa vitoriya Śrī Rupa Gosvāmī more Kripa vitoriya Udhari kabe jukta Vairagyo yorpiya Udhari kabe jukta Vairagyo yorpiya Kabe sanatana more Charaye visho Kabe sanatana more Charaye visho Nityanande samarpibe Oiyasodo Nityanande samarpibe Oiyasodo Śrī Jiva Gosvāmī kabe Siddhanta solile Śrī Jiva Gosvāmī kabe Siddhanta solile Nibhaibe tarkanono Chitta jahe jale Nibhaibe tarkanono Chitta jahe jale Chaitanya Namo Shune Udibe Pulakam Śrī Chaitanya Namo Shune Udibe Pulakam Radha Krishna Amrita Pane Boi Boyo Shoka Radha Krishna Amrita Pane Boi Boyo Shoka Kangalero Sukangalo Durjano Ye Jano 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 Vaishnava Charanashrayo Jacheya Kinchano Vaishnava Charanashrayo Jacheya Kinchano Jaya Rupa Gosvāmī Prabhu Rupa Gosvāmī 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 Rupa Sanātana Jai 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 Rupa Sanātana Rupa Sanātana Jai Rupa Sanātana Prabhu Hai Prabhu Hai Prabhu Hai Prabhu Hai Oh Prabhu Hai Prabhu Hai Prabhu Hai Prabhu Hai Shri Rupa Goswami Pad Ki Jai Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī Pad Ki Jai Śrī Sat Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. On the 6th until 11. Well, then there's every possibility we can meet. Yes, we'll discuss privately afterward. Okay? Now we will call for the mercy and grace of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Maybe together. Parama Karuna, Pahu Dvijana, Nitai Gaura Chandra, page 84. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Parama Karuna Pahudui Jano Nitai Gaura Chandra Parama Karuna Pahudui Jano Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabayavatar Sarashiromani Sabayavatar Sarashiromani Kevaloyananda Kanda Kevaloyananda Kanda Kevaloyananda Kanda Kevaloyananda Kanda Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudriga Vishwasho Kori Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudriga Vishwasho Kori Vishaya Chariya Serase Mojiya Vishaya Chariya Serase Mojiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari Dekho re bhai Tribhuvane nai Amono doyalo data Dekho re bhai Tribhuvane nai Amono doyalo data Poshu paki jhure Ashano vidore Shuni jaro guno gatha Pashu paki jhure Pashano vidore Shuni jaro guno gatha Shuni jaro guno gatha Shuni jaro guno gatha Sangsare mojiya rohili poriya se pode nohi doyasho Sangsare mojiya rohili poriya se pode nohi doyasho Aporo karamo bhunjayo shomono Yapano karamo bhunjayo shomono Kahaye lochano daso Kahaye lochano daso Parama karuna pahudui jano Nitai Gaura Chandra Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Jaya Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram Jai, Nityananda Ram Jai, Nityananda Ram Jai, Nityananda Ram, Nitai Hai, Gaur Hai, Nitai Hai, Gaur Hai, Nitai Hai, Gaur Hai, Nitai Hai, Gaur Hai. पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय. That's right. Happy birthday, Gopalito. Except he's in America right now, so just about. Yes, it's 5 o'clock, his birthday morning. That's Sudevi's little brother, by the way. He's not so little anymore. 31? That just makes me feel more dated. Now we will call out for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just want to see something. Jeev jago, Gorachand bole. Because it's Gorachand speaking. Page 162 by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta. Wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls, calls Sri Gaurachandra. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch, Maya? You came into this material world saying you will worship the Lord, but having forgotten this, you remain burdened by ignorance. It is only to deliver you that I have descended. Who but me is your friend? I have brought the medicine that will destroy the disease of Maya. Take these holy names, I beg you. Falling at the lotus feet of Srimad Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivedānta has begged for and accepted this Harinam mantra. Yeah, Sudevi was impressed, Janardhan Prabhu, that not only do you wake up, but you also participate. And she's like, it's not that he just wakes up, he participates, and it's 1 o'clock in his morning. Okay. So I'm used to only singing this rarely, but only in the morning time. So I'm trying not to sing the morning tune, because I don't want the demigods of music to contort, which they probably already do when I sing. But I'm thinking, okay. Jeev jago, Gora chando bole. Jeev jago, Gora chando bole. Koto nidra jao maya, pishachi roko le. Koto nidra jao maya, pishachi roko le. Bhaji bodoniya eshe sansaro bhi
ভিতরে ভজিব বলিয়া এসে সংসার ভিতরে ভুলিয়া রহিলে তুমি অবিদ্যার ঘরে ভুলিয়া রহিলে তুমি অবিদ্যার ঘরে তোমারে দইতে আমি হইনু অবতার তোমারে দইতে আমি হইনু অবতার আমি বিনা বন্ধুয়া কে আছে তোমার আমি বিনা বন্ধুয়া কে আছে তোমার এনেছি ঔষধি মায়া নাশিবারো লাগি এনেছে ঔষধি মায়া নাশিবারো লাগি হরি নাম মহামন্ত্র লাও তুমি মাগি হরি নাম মহামন্ত্র লাও তুমি মাগি ভকতি বিনোদ প্রভু চরণে পড়িয়া ভকতি বিনোদ প্রভু চরণে পড়িয়া সে হরি নাম মন্ত্র লইল মাগিয়া সে হরি নাম মন্ত্র লইল মাগিয়া জয় সচ্চিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি 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 জয় হরি নাম 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 श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय हरि नाम महामंत्र की जय Okay, I have a question for you. How is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu connected to Hare Krishna Mahamantra? In a general way and in a more intimate way. I'm waiting for your answers. You know, devotees are also writing me privately and asking me questions in a testing mode as well. One devotee, he sent me a happy birthday message the other day, and he said, what's that verse? What is the root cause of the awakening of Krishna Bhakti? And even after the attainment of perfection, it's still the most essential. What's that shlok? You know it, you know it. Remember you learned that verse. And I was like, oh my God, okay, it's coming back to me now. So, there's nothing wrong with a sense of competition and learning like that. Srila Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Mahārāja received a chocolate for every shlok he would learn. Needless to say, he was quite young at the time and learned many, many many shlokas. Okay, he brought it to us. He gave it to the pleblum. What's a pleblum? Maybe I don't know that word. He's the embodiment of Prema, Radha Krishna combined. Very good. He came to give us Mahamantra. Secondary reason, someone's been listening. Yuga Dharma. It says Yugal Anama. Yugal Nam. Okay. Yugal Nam. He used it to taste all the moods of Sri Radha. Yes, 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 and yes. So there's no wrong answer in this. Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, in that beautiful, beautiful essay entitled Karunaya Avatirna Kalo, which you will not find in Vedabase because it was originally in Bengali and was published in the Harmonist magazines at the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and also before he went to the West. So it was published in there as a series, so a little bit was published in each magazine. And in there he's speaking specifically about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he is the form of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He is known as Prem Murti. He is the form of Radha and Krishna's love. So in essence, when you say Jai Jai Radha Krishna Yugala Milan, means they're meeting. This is the same as saying Radha Bhava Duti Subalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. It's Radha and Krishna combined and experiencing within his singular form both meeting and separation. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasmad. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states that Radha and Krishna, Ekatma, although they are one Atma, one soul or supreme soul, they have eternally separated for the purpose of tasting pranay, means love and affection, an exchange of love and affection. So one aspect is the enjoyer, Vishai, that is Krishna. And the other aspect is the giver or the pleasure potency, that is Ashray or Srimati Radhika. Both of them together create that capacity to give and experience love and affection. Again, they have come together in one form. Api bhuvi pura deha bedam gatoto Chaitanyakyam. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Sachinandan Gaurahari. Chaitanyakyam prakatam aduna tadvayam chaikyamaptam radha bhava duti suvalitam nomi Krishna swarupam. What is Mahamantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. It's not just Krishna. When you say Abhinatva Nama Namino, that Krishna and his name is non-different. But Mahamantra is not just Krishna and his name. It's Hare Krishna. In other words, Radha Krishna. And Hare Ram, in other words, Radha Raman. So both are Radha Krishna. And there is Hare Krishna. This is meeting. Hare Krishna, meeting. Krishna Krishna, feeling separation from Srimati Radhika. Hare Hare, she's feeling separation from Krishna. Hare Rama, meeting. So within this mantra, it is Radha's and Krishna's transcendental relationship. Harinama tuva aneka swarupa, amala harinam amiya vilasa. Within the holy names of the Lord, all of Krishna's wonderful pastimes are present, and that is pastimes with his devotees. Within this Mahamantra, this is really Yugal Mantra. It is a special mantra which can awaken Prem, but it is in essence, the sound form of Radha and Krishna. But together in one mantra, that means it is also non-different from their combined form. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. There's no difference between Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Radha Krishna. So in this beautiful article, our Srila Prabhupada explains very intricately and deeply how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give and come to taste and is, in essence, that transcendental name and personality. So through these mediums, one, through Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is experiencing what it is like to love Krishna from the perspective of Śrī Radha. Tasting that nectar, he's sharing it with us, but he is also that himself. It's quite simple in one case and also complex in another. Let me just see. Oh wow, so many. Okay. Plebulum, ordinary citizen population. The Mahamantra is non-different from Sri Krishna, Radha and Krishna. He wants to taste the Maharas, the beauty and love. Srimati Radhika fell for Sri Krishna. Oh yeah, she fell for him and he fell for her. And Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna with Srimati Radhika's mood. Just so you know, Radha and Krishna fall for each other every day. That's known as Purvarag. When they see each other, they're like, I've never seen anything like that before. And again, they fall in love. Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna with Radhika's moods, medicine of Kali Yuga, better said, plebs. Mahaprabhu, born and want to listen only Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Beyond amazing. So I recommend and I would advise, if you want to read something from our Srila Prabhupada, which sounds very, very similar to what our Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada would speak, or Srila Bhaktivedānta Shrira Mahārāja, or Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, or our Gurudev, or Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the way he's discussing this particular subject, according to his time, place, and circumstance at that time, is very eye-opening, very revealing, very amazing. And in there he speaks something quite interesting about the duties of a preacher. And that if one does not preach or share what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given, then they won't be able to receive it, because that is his instruction. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, tell them about Krishna. So if you want his mercy, then you must do that thing. But he was explaining it in such a way that some say that you shouldn't not do this or do that, but it is essential that you must do it if you want to attain his mercy. So our Srila Prabhupada gave such beautiful, beautiful commentaries there. Okay, now, before calling out for Sri Krishna and Srimati Radhika, we will call out to Sri Jamuna Maharani, as requested by Janardhan Prabhu. And that starts with Bhratur Antakasya Patane Vipati Harini, page 306. 306. Jamuna was one of the personalities who was requested by the Lord to remain in this world, to act as a medium by which the jivas can connect their hearts to Krishna. Giriraj Maharaj, Shuka. So, I can't remember the fourth at this moment, but Jamuna was one of them. And as Gurudev said, she's liquid bhav. Liquid bhav. She's made of love and affection for Krishna. There are different groups in Vrindavan who focus on different aspects of Krishna's pastimes. And I think it is those in the Vallabh Sampradaya who put a lot of emphasis on Jamuna Maharani. to take shelter of Yamuna and pray to her and beg her for her mercy so that Krishna will be pleased. But we also, this is by Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī himself, and so he's showing us how to pray. We take shelter and pray to all of those who may be able to grant us our desired goal. That is the nature of greed. Wherever, however you can attain it, you must purchase it, acquire it without delay, or even beg, borrow, or steal. Somehow or other, get that. That is the nature of greed. So, now we will sing Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. भ्रातुरन्तकस्य पत्तनेभिपतिहारिणि प्रेक्षयाति पापिनो हि पापसिन्धुतारिणि नीरमधुरीभिरप्यशेषचित्तबन्धिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी वारिवारिधारयाभिमन्दितोरुखान्दवा पुण्डरीकमण्डलोद्यत् अन्दजालितान्दवा स्नानकामपामरोग्र पापसम्पदन्धि मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी शीकराभिमृष्टजन्तु दुर्विपाकमर्दिनी नन्दनन्दनान्तरङ्ग भक्तिपूरवर्धिनी तीरसङ्गमाभिलाषि मङ्गलानुबन्धिनी मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी द्वीपचक्रवालजुष्ट सप्तसिन्धुभेदिनी श्रीमुकुन्दनिर्मितोरु दिव्यकेलिवेदिनी कान्तिकन्दलीभिरिन्द्रनीलवृन्दनिन्दिनी मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी माथुरेण मण्डलेन चारुणाभिमन्दिता प्रेमनद्वैष्णवाध वर्धनाय पण्डिता ऊर्मिदोर्विलासपद्मनाभपादवन्दिनी मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी रम्यतीरो रम्भमानगोकदम्बभूषिता दिव्यगन्धभाकदम्ब पुष्पराजिभूषिता नन्दसूनुभक्तसङ्घ सङ्गमाभिनन्दिनी मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी कुलपक्ष मालिकाक्ष हंसलक्षपूजिता भक्तिविद्धदेवसिद्ध किन्नरालिपूजिता तीरगन्धवाहगन्ध जन्मबन्धरन्धिनी मां पुनातु सर्वदारो बिन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी चिद्विलास वारिपू Nirtitapi durmadoro papamarmatapini Ballavendranandanangaragabhangagandhini Mangpunatu sarvadaro vindabandhunandini Pushtabudhir ashtakena nirmalurnicheshtitam Vamanena bhanuputri sarvadeva veshtitam Yastaviti vardhayasva sarva papamochane Bhakti puram asya devi pundarikalochane Mangpunatu sarvadaro vindabandhunandini Mangpunatu sarvadaro vindabandhunandini Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune. Jai Jamune, Jai Jamune, Jai Jai Jamune. Śrī Jamuna Mahārāni ki Jai. So you're all welcome to read through the meanings of this beautiful Ashtakam glorifying Śrī Jamuna Mahārāni. And just so you know, when actually most ladies' names in Sanskrit or in India end in a long vowel. So Radha, Lalita, Vishakha. And when you call those names in the vocative, just like Hara turns to Hare, Radha turns to Radhe, Lalita turns to Lalite, Vishakha turns to Vishake, Yamuna turns to Yamune, Yashoda turns to Yashode when you're calling them. But I don't know about the ones that end in E, like Rohini. Which verse of what? Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam? I'm not sure. But just based on looking at those prayers, there's one that says Premanadha Vaishnavadva Vardhanaya Pandita. So there it's mentioning nourishing the Vaishnav path that is saturated with prem. In other words, spontaneous loving affection. And the other one that caught my eye was the third verse, which is Shikarabhimrishta Chantu Durvipaka Mardini Bhakti Pura Vardhani. Increases the current of spontaneous love or Raganuga Bhakti for Sri Nandanandan. But somehow when I see Vaishnava and Raganuga Bhakti together, or Prema, because without the mercy of the Vaishnavas we cannot attain that. So I see that also in Vrindavan's Mathurena Mandalena. Mathura Mandal means Shri Braj Mandal, within that circle. Charnabhimandita Premanadha Vaishnavadva Badhanaya Pandita Urmidor Vilasa Padmanabha Pada Bandini. And then the word Vilas also means the transcendental pastimes or the love play. So With the playful arms of her waves, she worships Padmanabha Sri Krishna's lotus feet. It's very beautiful. But all of them are just wonderful. Now we will call out to Krishna and then to Srimati Radhika. Bande Girivara Padak Kamalam. And that's page 346 by Sri Govinda Das. Just so you know, Jamuna has many forms. Another of her forms is Vishakha Sakhi. Vishakha is very near and dear to Srimati Radhika. And her other name, because she's actually born on the same day but just a little bit younger, is Anuradha. Anuradha means underneath, just below, or little Radha. So she has, because of being born on the same day, astrology is very similar. She has a lot of these same moods and bhavs of Srimati Radhika. That's why Lalita Sakhi, who's older than Srimati Radhika and has a little bit more of a Vamya Bhav mood. Vamya Bhav means leftist, quite strong. She's the coach. She tells Srimati Radhika, whatever you do, don't give in to Krishna. Be very difficult to get. This will increase his transcendental eagerness and his ecstasy 1,000,000-fold. So Lalita is always coaching her like that. But Vishakha Sakhi has this mood which is also a little bit softer. Srimati Radhika's nature is also a little softer, but Lalita is always somehow trying to also increase the transcendental pleasure of Radha and Krishna. And through that medium, she is increasing that. So Jamuna as Vishakha is very, very near and dear to Srimati Radhika. And Jamuna Devi herself, as the gopis are bathing in Jamuna, as Krishna is bathing in Jamuna, she acts like, you can say, an electric current, but not electric, a prane current, transferring their bhavs to each other. No, that's mine. Hare Krishna. And oh, I don't know. I don't know why it keeps turning on the Bluetooth automatically. But Jiva Pavana Prabhu, you were right. No, you weren't. Yes, you were. Before, it didn't, it stopped when I turned on Bluetooth. When I turned off Bluetooth. Let me see, I'm going to turn off the ringer here. Okay. Play. So now we will sing Bande Girivara Dhara Padak Kamalam. Hare. How do I turn off the phone completely? I just turned that off. Is there a way to turn it off? I just did. Okay. Oops. Vande Girivara Dhara Pada Kamalam. 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 Kamalakara Kamalanchitam Kamalam. Kamalakara Kamalanchitam Krishna कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय, राधा गिरिधारी जू की जय। It's not here. अब तो जाए चाहे कहे से बजाऊं शोभम शीलन चोरी श्री राधे राधे शोभम शीलन चोरी श्री राधे राधे। Because it's not here. Page 362, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai. Can't stop, won't stop, BX Seva. What's BX? Oh, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी 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 की जय। बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय, बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय, बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय, बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय। राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, ठाकुरानी की जय, हरि प्यारी की जय, ठाकुरानी की जय, हरि प्यारी की जय, वृषभानुदुलानी की जय जय जय, वृषभानुदुलानी की जय जय जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, गौरांगी की जय, हेमांगी की जय, गौरांगी की जय, हेमांगी की जय, ब्रजराज कुमारी की जय जय जय, ब्रजराज कुमारी की जय जय जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, ब्रजरानी की जय, ब्रज देवी की जय, ब्रज रानी की जय, ब्रज देवी की जय, गहवरो वनवाली की जय जय जय, गहवरो वनवाली की जय जय जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, राधा रानी की जय, महारानी की जय, गिरिधारी की जय, वनवारी की जय, गिरिधारी ki jai, Manobari ki jai, Bolo Kunja Bihari Ju ki jai, jai jai, Bolo Kunja Bihari Ju ki jai, jai jai, Bolo Viroda Bihari Ju ki jai, jai jai, Bolo Viroda Bihari Ju ki jai, jai jai, Bolo Ramana Bihari Ju ki jai, jai jai, Bolo Ramana Bihari Ju ki jai, jai jai, Radha Rani ki jai, Mahārāja ki jai, Radha Rani ki jai, Mahārāja ki jai, Bolo Varshane Wali ki jai, jai jai, Bolo Varshane Wali ki jai, jai jai, Radha Rani ki jai, Mahārāja ki 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 jai, Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Śrī Radhe, 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 Radhe Jayo Krishna, Jai Radhe Jayo Krishna, Jayo Radhe Jayo Krishna, Jai Radhe Jayo Krishna. Vrishabhananandani Shrimati Radharani ki jai. Now, we will sing Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, page 290 in our songbook, Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam by Śrī Satyavrata Muni. And now I am thoroughly confused about which version I'm supposed to sing today. So it is Devaki's call if she's there. Ah, look. As I'm waiting to find out, we will light the lamp. Fortune, okay. Śrī Dāmodara ki jai. Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Shajinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Shalagram Shila ki jai, Laddu Gopal ki jai, Chotta Chotta Laddu Gopal ki jai. Namamishwaram Sachit Anandarupam लसत्कुन्दलं गोकुले व्राजमानम् यशोदाभियोनुखलाधावमानम् परां वृष्टम् अत्यन्तकोदुतगोप्या रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्रं युग्मं मृजन्तम् परां भोजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्पत्रिरेखाङ्ककण्ठो स्थितग्रैव दामोदरं भक्तिवधम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभि आनन्दकुन्दे स्वघोषमिमजन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषितज्ञेषु भक्तैर्जितम् गुणप्रेम कष्टं शतावृत्तिवन्दे वरं देव मोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा चान्यं गृह्णेऽहं वरेशादपि इदं देव पूर्णाथो गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनोस्यामिराष्टां किमन्यै इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अव्यक्तनीलै कृतं कुन्तलै स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्ब रक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविराष्टम् अलं लक्षणाभै नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जालाधिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टि पृष्ट्यातिविनम्बतानु गृहानेश मामव्यं मेध्यक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजो बद्धः मूर्त्यैव त्वयामुचितो भक्तिभाजो कृतो च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ नमोक्षे ग्रहो मेस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते सुदामेस्तु प्रदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाथो विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं राधा दामोदर दामोदर
Shri Radha Damodar Ju ki jai, Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam ki jai.
And now we will call out the Prem mantra, or that mantra is known as Prematma. It awakens Prem in the Atma. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, 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 Bolo Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe,
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol O Gurudev Gurudev Jai Gurudev Gurudev Jai Prabhupada Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Gurupan Guru Varga Ki Jai Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo Dandava Pranam All Vaishnavas. I say it sometimes, but not every time. For those of you who may be wondering why I stall between starting my Mangalacharan for the class or the discussion, it's because many years ago, I think it was 1996, on the day of our Srila Prabhupada, many devotees sat down at the microphone to begin glorifying him. And Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja noticed that as one devotee was chanting their Mangalacharan, meaning their invocation before speaking, he was shifting, moving this, fixing this. And Gurudev said, stop. First, fix everything. Get everything ready. And then, when you're prepared, then do your invocation, your meditation. So from that time, I try to remember it. Sometimes I get a little bit distracted, but that's why I pause in between. Because somehow, Srila Gurudev has injected himself into practically every little thing. The other day I was having a discussion with someone. Oh, Sudevi had made pumpkin pie from scratch for my birthday. One of the things she made. And so we sent some to Anup and Sudevi. And I asked her, did you get the pumpkin pie? She said, Anup didn't even tell me yet. She's like, he's chanting his mantras now. I'm going to go and find it. I said, just like little Nimai, when the pujari was chanting his mantras, Nimai would go and take all of the offerings. Of course, it was already offered, but that kind of thing, just that kind of memory. Srila Gurudev has somehow injected himself into almost every experience so that you cannot forget him. And it's his mercy to do so. So even the adjusting and shifting of the mic before Mangalacharan, then I remember Gurudev, and then I have to stop, and then gather myself, and then remember. Fix everything first, then do Mangalacharan. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namaham Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Nitya Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Nitya Namine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giring Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Parvishta Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Shri Śrīmad Śrī Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Parvishta Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Shri Śrīmad Śrī Bhaktivedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe 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 Shyam.
Radhe Shyam. Today, Sudevi and I were remembering, we were actually hearing our Srila Gurudev in the morning. She was listening to a lecture of his and how he chants his Mangalacharan. And there's certain ways that he would chant it, like Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya. Now the word there says Tad, T-A-D. But Gurudev would say Tarabhaktaya. So we always say it like he said it. And Sudevi's like, that's the way to say it. Even though maybe technically it should be Tad, but that's the way Gurudev said it. And then we were discussing also this verse, Tavai Vasmi, Najibami Tvayabina, Iti Vigyaya. The original shlok says Devi Tvang. But every time Srila Gurudev would say Radhe Tvam, just so that somebody might not mistake which Devi he's referring to. There's so many different Devis. Maybe they might be thinking Devi, the goddess Durga. But Gurudev is specifically referring to which Devi? Radhike. So, Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tong Nayamama Charanantike, he would say. And I think the original says Charanantikam. So some slight adjustments according to his own personal depth of connection and realization. And so we were just discussing it, and we can't help it. That's the way we learned it. So any shlok that I learned that I heard from him, then I say it like he said it. Except for the Tannama Rupa Charitadi. If you can recall, every time he would chant that verse, Tannama Rupa Charitari Sukittananu Kramena Rasana Manasinyojya. He wouldn't say the word Smrityo. He would always just go into Kramena, maybe internally saying Smrityo. But I say Smrityo because that's the verse. Radhike. So now, we are continuing with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. This is manifested from the heart of Śrī Satyavrata Muni. It is his own subjective evolution of consciousness, of spiritual Krishna consciousness, over many millions of years, as his heart was evolving spiritually. He was going from Aishwarya Bhav, the mood of awe and reverence and majesty, toward Braja Bhav. Now he is saying, Idam te vapurnata gopala balam. Oh, may that wonderful form of Bala Gopal, very young Gopal, always manifest in my heart. Then he's saying, Edhyakshi drishya. Actually, I always want to see him with my eyes. Oh, that's not good enough. I want to see that lotus-like face, which is being kissed again and again and again by Mother Yashoda, or which is being kissed again and again and again by Śrī Radha. And then, that's not enough either. Now he's manifesting this mood of Rag Anuga Bhav. Rag Anuga means following under the guidance or aspiring to serve Krishna like any Ragatmik, eternal associate of Krishna. So he's seeing Yashoda kissing Krishna, his face, his cheeks again and again, And within his heart, he's desiring, oh, I also want to serve Krishna like that. So now he's expressing this sentiment. He's developing this greed, raganuga bhakti. And so now, from that, then we came to the 6th verse of Damodarāṣṭakam. Before going into that, this Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, it has been placed in Padma Purana by Vedyas, then it is commented on by Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī, then followed by the translation of that commentary by our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, along with his own injected bhavs. And then that is followed by the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Goswami Maharaj, full of ras and bhav. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. So many sweet pastimes of Krishna. So Satyavrata Muni decides, I really, really want this. How do I attain this? This is symptom of greed. By what means can I attain my heart's desire? And he takes shelter of the process of kirtan, the most powerful limb of bhakti. By what verse? Namo deva damodarānanta vishnu prasiddha prabhodhuko jalabdhimagnam kripadrishti vrishtyati dinam batanu grihane shamamagyam medhyakshidrishya namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam lasatkundalam gokule vrajamanam. So now we're continuing with the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj, and he's actually explaining Mahamantra in a very beautiful, deep and rasik way. How to approach Mahamantra, with what mood, especially if you're coming in the line of Rupa Goswami. How should we see Mahamantra? How should we approach Mahamantra? It's not just that we put our hand in our japa bag and sit down and start and thinking about everything else. What is the way to approach Mahamantra? And I'm speaking to myself as well. The tendency is for the mind to run in all directions, but Gurudev is telling us here how beautiful, how sweet, how wonderful, and in what mood the Rupanugas approach Śrī Harinam Prabhu in the form of Mahamantra. Before I continue, that verse starts with Taba. Tavaivasmi, najivami tvayabina, iti vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantike. That's the way Srila Gurudev would say it. So previously we heard, oh my gosh. So I'm just going to read a little bit and then continue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, this needs to be made into a poster or something, Janardhan, because it's just so amazing. In the groves of Vrindavan, Sri Radhika steals away Sri Krishna's mind. The word harana means to steal, and hara is the feminine form of one who steals. According to Sanskrit grammar, when hara is uttered as a personal address to someone, it becomes hare. The root krish means to attract, and na means bliss. Therefore, he who gives bliss to everyone with the sweetness of his beautiful form, qualities, flute, and pastimes is known by the name Krishna. The Rama in this mantra is not Shri Ram, meaning Dasharati Ram, who has a bow and arrows and who is married to Sita and who killed Ravan. He who enjoys Ramana with Sri Radha is known as Radha Ramana.
The name Ram in this mantra is an abbreviated form of the name Radha Raman. And right now I'm just remembering that sometime before, not recently, but I had posted something from our Srila Prabhupada about Radha Raman. Let's see if I can find it. Oops. Let's see. It's not connecting. Never mind. If you can find it, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, I would really appreciate it. Yes, I know we finished at the bottom of 128, but I wanted to just recap it because it's so beautiful. Shri Krishna plays on his flute and attracts the minds of the gopis to him, therefore he is called Krishna. This mantra embodies so many sweet moods. There is no transcendental emotion or pastime of Krishna that is not included within this Maha Mantra, but they will only dawn in one's heart by the mercy of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. Initially, by the mercy of these great personalities, one realizes the sweetness of the holy name. Oh, these holy names are sweeter than the sweetest. Nothing is sweeter. Thereafter, the possessor of the name, Nami, that means Krishna himself, personally awakens within one's heart and enables one to enter into his pastimes. What should the sadhak do if he's not achieving perfection in bhakti? Regarding himself to be very fallen and destitute, he should piteously perform kirtan of the Maha Mantra. For this reason it is said, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva, 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 gatir anyata. The name of Hari, the name of Hari, the name of Hari is the only way. In this age of Kali, there is no other way. There is no other way. There is absolutely no other way to achieve the ultimate destination. This Maha Mantra, this particular part reminds me of the address that Srila Prabhupada gave, the famous one for Maha Mantra. This Maha Mantra is the infallible remedy for all the ill effects of Kali Yuga. By chanting this mantra, all of one's desires are fulfilled without fail. What to speak of achieving something in this mundane realm? By this mantra, one cannot help but achieve the highest spiritual attainment. Such is the glory of Nam Sankirtan. So now we are continuing from where we left off. As already mentioned, when Sri Krishna disappeared at the time of the Rasa dance, oh, here it says Rasa dance, the gopis sang Gopi Geet with the desire to see him directly. So yesterday, never mind. With the desire to see him directly. When Sri Krishna heard their song, he could not check himself and finally appeared before them. By the process of kirtan, they attracted him. Like I told before, when Yashoda and others went to Kurukshetra, at that time it was the solar eclipse. They were not allowed to see Krishna because they didn't want him to be attracted to the Brajavasis. So what process did they undertake? Kirtan. And by that, Krishna got up in the middle of this yajna, Rajasuya yajna, which was forbidden in a sense. Everything would have to be done again. And it was very expensive and time-consuming, but that kirtan was so attractive that he got up and walked out of that assembly to go to the source of that kirtan. So when Krishna heard their song, he could not check himself and finally appeared before them. With this in mind, Śrī Satyavrata Muni also prays to directly behold Śrī Krishna through Nam Sankirtan. Once in New Braj in Badger, California, Srila Gurudev had me sing Yasomati Nandana in the house of Pran Kishore and Champakalata Didi. And I sang Yasomati Nandana, and there it says, Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa. And Gurudev looked at me, do you know the meaning of Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa? And I was just like a deer in headlights. I had no idea what I was singing. I was just going through the motions. And Gurudev kind of looked at a couple other devotees, and then he said, within your holy names, all of your sweet pastimes are present within Krishna's holy names. Amiya Vilasa. Within his transcendental pure holy names, all of his sweet pastimes are present. So, Satyavrata Muni also prays to directly behold Sri Krishna through Nam Sankirtan. O Deva, you whose form is divine and astonishing. O Bhaktivedānta Damodara, you who are bound by the rope of your mother's love. O Ananta, you who have unlimited potencies. O Vishnu, you who pervade everything and reside as the witness in the hearts of all beings. O Prabhu, you who possess infinite, inconceivable potencies. O Isha, my master, you who are supremely independent. Then Srila Gurudev continues. It is always advised that one should offer respects to one's worshipful Lord before beginning a prayer or before beginning any other activity. Therefore, Śrī Satyavrata Muni first offers respects to his Ishtadev with the words Namo Deva. Deva means he whose form is divine. What is that divine form like? What is that divine form like? Now I see this verse here. And I'm remembering Srila Gurudev in South Africa. He chanted this verse and another one, Barhapidam Natabaravupu Karnayor Kannikaram. And each verse he chanted, when he finished it, everyone clapped in the auditorium. It was in Johannesburg, the Gandhi Hall. And Srila Gurudev at that time said, you have not seen how beautiful is Krishna. You have not seen. If you could take everything that is beautiful in the entire universe and collect it into one point, that would not equal even one particle of dust on the feet of Krishna. How beautiful is Krishna. Those eyes that have not seen this beautiful form, they are quite useless. They should be set on fire. Gurudev was speaking like this. This is the mood of the gopis. And everyone was just completely stunned. Even though we had had quite a difficult time struggling there, I remember we were discussing afterward that all of that, for that moment that Gurudev was sharing that revelation, what he was witnessing, in that moment, everything was more than worth it 1,000 times. So, what is that divine form like? I only know one tune for this, and it's from Pandit Jashraj. Kasturi tilakam lalata patale vakshasthale koshtubham nasagre varamuktikam karatale venum kare kankanam Sarvange harichandanam sulalitam kante chamuktavali Gopastri pariveshtito vijayate Gopala churamani Gopala churamani. From Sri Gopal Sahasranam Stotra. His forehead is decorated with musk tilak. The Kaustuba jewel rests upon his broad chest, and an exquisite pearl hangs from the tip of his nose. The flute gracefully rests in his lotus hands, and bracelets adorn his wrists. His entire form is anointed with chandan,
His entire form is anointed with chandan, and a necklace of pearls graces his attractive neck. All glories to the crest jewel of the Gopas, who is surrounded by all the young Braja Gopis. This form of Sri Krishna, surrounded by the young ladies of Braj, is most beautiful and enchanting. According to the level or the depth of exclusivity and you can say surrender, but love for Krishna, his form manifests accordingly. He reciprocates. So whose love for him is so great that he is completely controlled by them? Completely in every way. This is not a trick question. Pumpkin pie. Come on. I'm waiting. The most beautiful form of Krishna can only be found, most attractive, most beautiful can only be found in the association of very, very good. Srimati Radhika. Mother Yashoda has bound Deva, Sri Krishna. She wrapped a rope around his waist, brought it behind his back, and tied it to the grinding mortar. These days, if any mother did that to their kids, they might get in trouble for it. But Mother Yashoda is teaching an example. If your child is very, very, very naughty, you have to teach them a lesson. You have to give them some discipline. She didn't hit him with the stick. When he said, "No, mother," she felt bad in her heart. She put the stick down. She said, "I won't hit you, but I have to teach you a lesson. So this grinding mortar was your accomplice, so I will bind you to this grinding mortar, and you should stay there and think about what you've done." If one cannot give discipline, and one does not accept any discipline, then it actually contributes to creating a certain kind of problem in society. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is speaking about those who are lacking discipline, unwanted population or unwanted children. Meaning, due to excessive sensual activity, so many children are born, but there's no inclination to raise them to be good quality persons. Let them be as they are. And as a result of that, they get into all kinds of mischief and create so much nuisance in the world. By that, there becomes more unwanted overpopulation, because people only are thinking about themselves instead of what is favorable, what is dharmic, what is good for bhakti. And then as the world becomes overpopulated with so many who are only selfishly minded and not God conscious, it creates a situation where those who have this selfish, you can say almost narcissistic mindset, also create problems for those who are dharmic, those who are trying to endeavor on the path of bhakti. So Krishna says, "Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrujamyaham." When there is a predominant rise in irreligion, adharma, and dharma is repressed or suppressed, at that time I descend myself. For what purpose? To protect the devotees and to annihilate or to remove those who are against dharma and bhakti. Krishna himself says this. So this is the whole reason for the Mahabharata war. The whole reason. So Mother Yashoda is showing that it is still necessary to give discipline, even when all of the elders Nanda Baba's contemporaries told him, "We think your son might be Bhagavan. He's lifting Govardhan, killing demons. Maybe you shouldn't chastise him. Maybe he's Nārayaṇa." Nanda Baba was listening. And after they all finished, he began to laugh so hard. He's like, "I don't know where your minds are at. It's like you haven't even received your baby teeth yet. You think my son is Bhagavan. My son steals butter. He pinches babies and makes them cry. He's such a naughty little boy. If I don't discipline him, then what will become of him? He'll become a great nuisance to society. As his father, it is my duty to discipline him. You can believe whatever you want, but as far as I'm concerned, he is my son, and I will do my fatherly duty to raise him up to be an upstanding citizen." So some discipline is necessary, even to Krishna. A lot of discipline is necessary for him. So Yashoda wrapped a rope around Krishna's waist, brought it behind his back, and tied it to the grinding mortar. Deva can also mean he who is playing. In other words, in this pastime, Sri Krishna is playing in the form, or in a form, of a child. Śrī Satyavrata Muni therefore says, "I want to see the divine beauty of this Gopal who has appeared as a little child directly with my own eyes." Now you recall that question that Sudevi asked Gurudev. Mother Yashoda bound Krishna. But the cowherd boys could not unbind Krishna from Mother Yashoda's rope. Why is that? Does anyone know why the cowherd boys could not unbind it? Even Baladev was so upset. Who bound him? And he wanted to untie, and the cowherd boys said, "Mother." And then Baladev said, "Oh." And even he could not untie Krishna. Why is that? Come on. I need to give you a present, some prize. Dahibara. It's like one of my favorites. Dahibara means it's like a urad dal dumpling in a yogurt sauce with tamarind sauce on top and cilantro. I was going to say, no, Sudevi, there we go. Vatsalya Prem is stronger than Sakya Prem. Parental love is stronger, more powerful than friendship love.
Why is that?
Very good, very good. Sudevi just asked, why is that? Because of the depth of mamata, or possessiveness. To the extent that one feels possessiveness for the object of their love and affection, to that extent, Bhagavan, or Krishna, is controlled by them. So Vatsalya Prem has so much mamata. He is mine, and it is my duty to look after him, to take care of him, to maintain him. The cowherd boys don't need to maintain Krishna. They don't have to feed him. They don't have to make sure that he's going to be healthy and that he's disciplined or anything. They just have fun with him. But the parents are always concerned for the welfare of their children in a very acute way. Good parents, because we were just talking about not good parents previously. So good parents are always concerned for the benefit and the welfare of their children, with a lot of possessive mood too. Mamata, they're mine. I must help them. Even my grandmother, right up until the very end, was always concerned for my father. He was in his 60s, and still she was worried for him, concerned. She would sometimes give him money if he needed money. And he was over 60, and still she was always making sure he was okay. She could not help herself. It was part of the nature of that heart, the Vatsalya heart. So that prem is greater. But that one which is able and ready and willing to risk everything, to be shunned by society, to be rejected, for the pleasure of Krishna that you can only find in Gopi Bhav. If Srimati Radhika bound Krishna by the waist, can Mother Yashoda untie it? Yes or no? There's too much of a delay. Ah, very good. Rudragupta. Can the gopis untie the binding of Mother Yashoda? Yes or no? Anjali, no way, Jose. Can the gopis unbind the rope tied by Mother Yashoda? I think someone already answered it previously. Rudragupta asked, Anjali answered perfectly. Yes, very good. Oh, Sudevi. Gurudev said, just by glancing at it with their eyes, that rope would burn to ashes in a moment. Amazing, isn't it? Because their prema is so great, so great. Even all of the other rasas are actually, in a way, directly or indirectly supporting the Adi Ras, or the original Ras, which is Krishna and Srimati Radhika, Krishna and the gopis. That Madhurya Ras, or Shringar Ras, Adi Ras. By creating some difficulty, it enhances that rasa. Right? Mother Yashoda doesn't want to let Krishna go in the morning. Also, she feels that when he leaves, her heart is breaking, and at one moment feels like yugas and yugas. How can she let him go? But she has to. And so, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, all of the parents, the Vatsalya Prem, they're following Krishna up to a certain point, and then he says, it's okay, I'll be fine. I've got all my mothers with me, all the cows, and my friends. We'll be good, we'll be fine. Don't worry. I promise I'll come back. And then they wait where they are until they can no longer see the dust. It has all settled. Then they go back in separation from Krishna. And then Krishna is there with his cowherd-boy friends, playing, doing all sorts of friendly activities like jumping over each other's backs and swimming and swinging and eating each other and playing games and close your eyes and open your mouth. I have a really special pakora from my mother. Okay, and they put a chili pakora in Krishna's mouth like that. All games and fun. And then after lunch, everyone becomes tired. In countries like India, generally everyone has a siesta after lunch. If anyone eats rice, they know what happens. If I take rice, boom, I'm down. So then Krishna takes that as an opportunity to escape. So they are all resting, and Krishna takes off and runs to Radha Kund, and there he enjoys the midday pastimes in the company of Srimati Radhika and her Svapaksha gopis, her intimate associates. So they're all somehow assisting Krishna to meet with Srimati Radhika. And that stopping means don't go, is creating that tension by which it becomes more and more exhilarating and exciting to finally be able to come together and have that meeting. Burpees for chilies. Ooh. So here, Gurudev is saying Deva can also mean he who is playing. In other words, in this pastime, Sri Krishna is playing in a form of a child. Now, apparently, this is the perspective of Aishwarya Bhav. Aho bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Brajokasam Yan Mitram Paramanandam Purnam Brahma Sanātana. Oh, how fortunate! Bhagya means fortunate. How greatly fortunate is Nanda Baba and the other residents of Braj that the supreme absolute truth, Purnam Brahma Sanātana, Paramanandam, Yan Mitram Paramanandam Purnam Brahma Sanātana, the supreme absolute truth is playing like an ordinary child in the courtyard of Nanda Baba. So from an Aishwarya perspective, they will see it like this. But then those who are inside, they won't see Purna Brahma Sanatana Paramananda, yes, they're experiencing that supreme bliss, Parama Ananda, always in association with Krishna. But they're not seeing him as Purnam Brahma Sanatana. They don't see him like this. That's the speciality of Vrindavan. Their prem is so great that all of that knowledge of Aishwarya is completely drowned like one particle of dust in the ocean. Completely saturated and drowned by their love and affection. And Rupa Goswami explains that there are, you can say, greater and greater depths of that kind of drowning. And the greatest depth you will find where? Only one place. Vaikantaj janito varama dhupuri tatrapi rasotsavat vrindaranyam udarapani ramanat tatrapi gobadhana radha kundam ihapi gokulapate prema amrita plavanat. Prem is completely drowning everyone like a deluge, a tsunami of prem at Radha Kunda. Most concentrated ecstasy can be found there. As our Gurudev said, and I've repeated many times here, but I will say it again, there is more Aishwarya, opulence, and a single particle of dust of Vrindavan than in all of the Vaikuntha planets combined. Opulence. I can't explain that. It's inconceivable.
Okay.
I don't even want to try. But because Vrindavan has so much madhurya or sweetness, completely drowning all of Braj and all of the Vrajabasis and Krishna, then that Aishwarya, even though it might be recognized sometimes, oh look, Krishna's lifting Govardhan hill. Oh look, Krishna manifests like Vishnu on Garuda. He manifests the forearm form. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, let's go and play. They don't get enamored by it. Completely, it just leaves their mind and they continue to play. But at Radha Kund, Srila Gurudev explained, there is more Aishwarya in a single particle of dust at Radha Kunda than in all of Vrindavan combined. So we should understand that there is a condensation of transcendental ecstasy that is amplified on an exponential scale, if you know what I'm talking about. And only at Radha Kund, that is the highest, most amazing location. Transcendentally, in this world, in that world, in all worlds, that place, Radha Kunda. So Rupa Goswami's last 3 verses in Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction, out of 11 verses, the last 3 verses are focusing on Radha Kund. This verse 9 brings you to Radha Kund as that place which is overwhelmed with the deluge of prem. And then the next one and the next one. Karmibhya parito hare priyatyam vyaktim yayurgyaninas and Krishnas yochai pranayavasati preyasibhyopi Radha Kundam. Both of them are establishing that as the goal of Rupanuga Vaishnavas to serve in those pastimes. So, condensation of transcendental ecstasy is to be found, especially in Śrī Radha Kunda. Now, Srila Gurudev continues with Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī's commentaries, his tika. Tika means commentary. And there are so many different angles of vision to see these verses from. There's Rasik, then there's more Rasik, and then super Rasik, and then extremely Rasik, and then like supermost Rasik. Just like what Krishna was saying in Bhagavad Gita. There's secret, then there's more secret, then there's even more secret, then there's topmost secret of all secrets, right? Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idamuttamam pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. Krishna is also giving it like this. So our Goswamis have this capacity to also see the varying depths and levels of concentration of transcendental ecstasy, and they're revealing one layer at a time, at a time, at a time, to bring us to that ultimate perfection. Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī explains several meanings of Damodar in his commentary. One way to understand this name is in relation to Mother Yashoda. Sri Krishna wanted to relish Sri Yashoda's motherly affection, so he submitted to being bound by the rope of her love. Remember, it's not just a rope. No one can tie Krishna with a rope, but love can bind Krishna. So her rope is her rope of love and affection. Yashoda bhiyo lukaladhavamanam param rishtamatyantato drutya gopya. So he wanted to relish her motherly affection and submitted to being bound by the rope of her love. He thus became known as Śrī Dāmodara. Śrī Dāmodara, Śrī Dāmodara. He whose waist is bound by Sri Yashoda. Another way to understand this name is in relation to Sri Radha. When Sri Krishna eventually reappeared after leaving the Ras dance, he somehow pacified Sri Radha's anger. One time this happened at Sevakunj, and another time at Mansarovar. Just before they started the Ras dance again, Sri Lalita and Vishaka tied Sri Krishna's yellow pitambar to Sri Radha's veil. So it's his yellow cloth to Radhika's veil. They tied it, binding them and making it impossible for him to escape. Another time when Sri Krishna was on his way to meet with Sri Radha, Padma somehow brought him to Gauri Kund and united him with Chandravali. Da-da-da-dum. Meanwhile, Sri Radha's maidservants, headed by Sri Rupamanjari, noted that Sri Radha was becoming increasingly anxious to meet with Sri Krishna. They began to search for him and finally found him at Gauri Kunda. Interestingly enough, whenever Gurudev would take us on Parikrama, he wouldn't bring us there. We would be near Anyorgyao at Govardhan, where Giriraj Mahārāja manifested and accepted all of the offerings from the Brajbasis. And then Gurudev would point in that direction. Over there is Gauri Kate. That is the place of, or Sakistali, not Gauri Kate, sorry, Sakistali, the place of Chandravali, he would say, over that direction. But he wouldn't go there and he wouldn't bring us there, because he's following very closely Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, although in sadhak form, was also experiencing, in Vilap Kusumanjali, you can also see it, how he's bouncing back and forth between his mood as a devotee and then his mood as an eternal associate of Radha and Krishna, Rati Manjari in Vrindavan. Just so you know, right now there's thunder happening, and so it could be that we have an electrical outage anytime soon. So Srila Gurudev would tell about Raghunath Das Goswami that once upon a time, someone came with a bowl of buttermilk, chach. And he recognized that that bowl was not, it's a leaf cup. It's made of leaves that are bound together with sticks. They still have them here. Very practical and efficient and good for the environment. So they brought this leaf bowl of buttermilk for Raghunath Das Goswami. He recognized it. Where is it from? Sakistali. Immediately he took a stick and chased that person away. Why? Because of his exclusivity in his mood of service to Srimati Radhika. You're bringing me a bowl of buttermilk from Chandravali's place? She's in the anti-party. Yes, even in the transcendental realm, there is Svapaksha and Vipaksha. Chandravali is the leader of the Vipaksha group. Interestingly enough, after Srimati Radhika, Chandravali's love for Krishna can be said to be next. But there is speciality. And so the idea that everything is all one and everything should just get along in the perfect way, even in this material world, is absolutely ludicrous. In that transcendental realm, there are groups and parties. The difference between here and there is everything is centered around Krishna and his pleasure. So everything is, through that definition, harmonious. Whereas in this material world, everyone's attention is brought unto themselves, more or less, or their own family members or their own friends. And then it creates discrepancies. Because Krishna is not the center, then there's not harmony. Srila Bhaktivedānta Mahārāja gave the example of concentric circles. If you have a compass and you put the needle in the center point and you draw circles, you can draw thousands of circles, all different sizes, and not one of them will conflict with another because there's only one center. That's how the transcendental realm can be compared. Because that one center is only Krishna, although so many different circles might be there, still everything is harmonious. Because Krishna is the only center. Whereas in this material world, we're all our own centers, so you find conflict everywhere. Right? Imagine one point, you draw your circle, and then another point, you draw another circle, another point, there's another circle drawn. There's only crisscrossing, conflict everywhere. That's the nature of this material world. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, doshanu, darshanam. Adhyatmic, adibautic, adidaivik miseries. Because of all of this conflict. It's the nature of this material world. That's how it's made. And we're supposed to learn, it didn't translate that. Birth, disease, old age, and death. Dukh, doshan, and darshan. Dukh means suffering. One can only see suffering everywhere. And then the adhyatmic, adibautic, adidaivik miseries means miseries caused by our own bodies and minds. Adhyatmic. Adidaivik, miseries caused by acts of nature like floods, hurricanes, too much heat, too much cold, etc. Then there's adibautic, miseries caused by other living entities, and that can mean like viruses or malaria or other animals or parasites or even other humans who are creating difficulties for us. So we find that that is pretty much the way it is in the material world. We get a couple good breaths of fresh air from time to time, and then, saturated in struggling to keep one's head above the water, so to speak. It's the nature of this world. It has been made in such a way so that we don't feel comfortable here, so that we will turn to, what is that lecture? Home comfort. The supreme comfort, everlasting peace means the nature of our Atma in eternal relationship with our eternal beloved. That is where one will find the alignment of their soul. Otherwise, you cannot find it in this material world. Because this place is made of matter. All bodies are made of matter. But the eternal soul, its nature is Jivera Survahoy Krishner Nityadas. It is an eternal servant of Krishna. So anything else that we engage our energy in is bound to fail one day or another and to create disappointment again and again. As Srila Govinda Mahārāja would say, disappointed, disappointed, again and again. This is what has happened forever. And now we have an opportunity to not only not be disappointed, but to be appointed into the eternal loving service of Shri Shri Radha Krishna under the guidance of Lalita Saki, Rupa Manjari, and our Guru Varga coming down through our own Guru Dev to be appointed into that service, which will be only source of transcendental elation, bliss for all time, even in separation. So when Sri Krishna eventually reappeared after leaving the rasa dance, he somehow pacified Sri Radha's anger.
So we're reading here just before. Oh, sorry. Another time when Krishna was on his way to meet with Radha, somehow Padma brought Krishna to Gauri Kund and united him with Chandravali. So I just wanted to finish that point with Raghunath Das Goswami. He chased that person away. This is exclusivity. And we will have to become like this one day. Even though Chandravali's love is unmatched. And there's only one person whose love for Krishna can be compared, not compared, but whose love for Krishna is in essence superior. That is Srimati Radhika. Still, that focus for those who are Rupanuga Vaishnavas would be detrimental to your awakening of your eternal mood of loving service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. That's quite amazing to consider. How exclusive must one be? Therefore, it is absolutely essential that one remains under the guidance of a qualified Rupanuga Vaishnava if they want to attain to that destination. Tishtan Braje Tad Anuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayat Akilam Ityupadesha Saram. The essence of all advice is to 24 hours under the guidance of a Braj Rasik Bhavuk, eternal associate of Krishna in Vrindavan, to always remember and chant and serve Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes with deep, deep relationship. Sukirtananu. And then, eventually, when we come to that qualification, hopefully, what is it? Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyoja. Remembering Krishna's pastimes at all of the different phases of the day as they are happening. This is the essence of all advice given by Srila Rupa Goswami himself. So eventually we'll have to come to the exclusivity that has been shown by Raghunath Das Goswami. Yes?
Can you answer Rudra's question and Shakti Tattva?
Are there Chandravali Anuga Vaishnavas also? You know, there may be, but I have not heard of them, and I've never heard my Gurudev speak about that. And I'll go back a little bit. I didn't see the Shakti Tattva question.
No, I'm asking to answer it through
Oh.
What is the purpose of Chandravali?
So Sudevi's asking me to mention Chandravali in terms of Shakti Tattva. In Sri Brahma Samhita it is stated, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhis Tabirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabhi. That all of the gopis, all of them are manifestations of Sri Radha's own moods of love and affection for Krishna, including Chandravali, Uma, Rama, Satya, Shachi, Chandra, Rukmini. Chandra can mean Chandravali. So she's also a manifestation of Radhika's bhavs of love and affection for Krishna. What kind of mood is Chandravali the personification of? Submissive mood. And Radhika, but especially Lalita, she's the personification of the opposite of that. Not submissive. Haughty. Quite standoffish, if you want to call it that. And Krishna has to struggle because Radhika is under the guidance, in one sense, of Lalita Sakhi. And Krishna is also afraid of Lalita Sakhi. How powerful is she? Our Rupanuga Vaishnavas have taken a shelter of Lalita Sakhi because she's able to control both Radhika and Krishna. Hare Krishna. Change freak windstorm just now.
Is everything shut?
No, can you close these windows? There might be a
windstorm.
upsurge. Yeah, there's sometimes you get these Trinavarta windstorms that come through and just coat everything with dust. You see the whole wall of dust coming. And then right after that, you have a nice rainstorm. But in the meantime, dust is everywhere. Trinavarta came from Kamsa shaped like a whirlwind.
putting Krishna on his shoulders, darkening Vrindavan. That's ice. Is that ice? It sounds like hail. Dust storms all around, baby Krishna can't be found. Yashoda was crying upon the ground. But baby Krishna made himself as heavy as a mountain. He caught Trinavarta's neck and made him fall down, down, down to the ground. Simple Trinavarta. Demons die away, but Krishna is saved. Yes, I think it's hailing. It doesn't sound like normal rain. It's pretty heavy. Sometimes they get golf ball size hail in Vrindavan. Windows starts getting smashed and everything like that. So, there goes the power, like I said, but we have backup. Hare Krishna. That was a nursery song. We didn't have any of the other songs. We had only songs related to Krishna. And even like Mother Shachi had a boy and his name was Nimai, N-I-M-A-I, like that. Mother Yashoda had a boy and his name was Krishna, K-R-S-N-A. So I was telling we must one day attain to that kind of exclusivity. So I was speaking about Shakti Tattva. So Chandravali is a manifestation of Radhika's submissive mood to Krishna. So she will do anything. And Radhika, she's following the guidance of Lalita Sakhi. She also has all of these moods within her. But this Bhamya Bhav, what is called a leftist mood. Leftist versus rightist. Rightist mood, when you hear that from our Gurudev and Guru Varga, it means submissive. Very humble, quiet, accepting. But Radhika, she's different. Under the guidance of Lalita Sakhi, who is the personification of her Bhamya Bhav, her leftist mood, quite haughty and strong, Radhika, Lalita tells her, don't give in, whatever you do. And this increases Krishna's eagerness millions of times more. And Radhika's group looks at Chandravali's group. That's not how you serve Krishna. Why are you giving him whatever he wants? That won't make him so happy. And they're looking at that group going, how can you create such difficulty for Krishna? He's our everything. Why are you making it so difficult for him? You don't know how to love Krishna. These conversations would go on between our Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedānta Trivikram Mahārāja. And they were quite amusing to watch. Trivikram Mahārāja would give all of the arguments from the Chandravali side. And Gurudev would just get like a lion and start, boom, smashing all of the arguments. And Trivikram Mahārāja would just be shaking his head and laughing. And then Gurudev would start using even personal, oh, you are like Bhishma, you should just like, I have defeated you. You are full of arrows and you should lie on the battlefield full of arrows like this. They would have such sweet banter between them. So, Shakti, all Shaktis manifest from the original Shakti, who is Srimati Radhika. She is Adi Shakti, the original Shakti, and the complete Shakti. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Krishna is the complete possessor of all Shakti, and she is the complete. Purna means complete potency, Shakti. And from her, all other Shaktis manifest. So from her own form, according to all of her moods of love and affection for Krishna, each mood has a personification. And that personification takes form as any gopi. That's the tattva behind it. No one's going to look when you're there and think, this gopi is the personification of Radhika's anger mood to Krishna. No one's going to see it like that. But from a tattvic perspective, when you stand back and look and you can see all of these different things, then all of that can be understood. So Chandravali is in essence not different from Radhika, but yet she is different. And because of that difference, there's also within the relationships between Radha and Krishna, Krishna and Chandravali, Radhika and Chandravali, Radhika's group and Chandravali's group, there is some distance. And that distance also creates a certain kind of tension. And I keep using this word tension. Think of it like a rubber band that's getting pulled tightly. There's tension in there. And that tension can only pull so far. But you feel that. And that creates the exaltation of meeting. So this is happening within the meeting and separation pastimes of Krishna with all of his associates in Vrindavan. And the most you will find in Srimati Radhika. I hope I was able to answer that okay. So is there a Chandravali group, Anugatya? Yeah, our Gurudev didn't speak about that. I've never heard about it. I don't think he would want anyone to even entertain the idea or the thought. We do know that there was one person, Gurudev would tell this story, and this was in relation with Raghunath Das Goswami also, what kind of exclusivity and one-pointedness he had towards Srimati Radhika. So there was one sadhu who was doing bhajan at Radha Kunda. And then he went on pilgrimage to Dwarka. And in Dwarka, can you close the bathroom door and latch it, Sudevi? So there, he went to Dwarka, and in Dwarka they brand you with symbols of Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, conch shell, disc, club, or lotus flower. He got branded. And because he got branded in Dwarka, he was not allowed back by Srimati Radhika. So how was he finally allowed back? Srila Gurudev explained that it may be that in intense separation he had to give up that body and then again in another body take on that the bhajan mood of serving in Radha Kund. So there is definitely exclusivity and there are definite groups. And the fact that they have groups pervertedly reflects in this material world as what you see, families that don't like each other, or countries that don't like each other. Some are friendly and some are not friendly. And it pervertedly reflects in this world like that. So the idea that everyone is just going to all be as one, living in one beautiful, if Krishna is not in the center, it won't happen. It's just an illusion. Some people like to quote that song. I can't remember it, but sometimes I've heard it. Imagine all the people. And really that's just not a reality. It's not a possibility unless Krishna is the center. And if Krishna is the center, still there will be groups. So instead of trying to make this world the perfect place, which is an impossible task, then we can enter into the pastimes of Krishna, and that's where we will find our perfection. So let me just finish this paragraph here. Yeah, he had to give up that Dwarka branded body. So be careful about getting branded in Dwarka. So Radhika's maidservants, headed by Sri Rupa Manjari, noted that Sri Radha was becoming increasingly anxious to meet with Sri Krishna. They began to search for him and finally found him at Gauri Kunda, O Aghari, slayer of the great snake demon. Aghari means Aghasur. It's not Aghasur, it's Aghasura. The demon, Agha. Ari means who has, or the enemy of, or who has slain. O Aghari, they exclaimed. They found Krishna there, and then they told him, a demon has entered Braj and is destroying everything. The demon was actually Sri Radha's separation from Sri Krishna. So Krishna is also duty bound to destroy the demons. So by this trick, Radhika's manjaris were able to extract Krishna from the grip of Chandravali, and then they were able to bring him in the direction of Srimati Radhika. As soon as Sri Krishna heard this, he spoke to Chandravali. Because she's so submissive, he's able to do this, comforting her. My dear one, I will return immediately after killing the demon. Just wait for me. In this way, the manjaris cleverly took Sri Krishna from Chandravali's grove and united him with Sri Radha. There, the manjaris tied the ends of Radha and Krishna's cloth in a knot. On yet another occasion, Sri Radha's friends tied the ends of her and Sri Krishna's cloth in a knot. To this day, the place where that pastime occurred is called Gantoli. The name Gantoli comes from the Hindi word Gantha, which means knot. It is because of all of these pastimes that Sri Krishna became known as Radha Damodar, who is bound by Sri Radha. Śrī Dāmodara Ju ki jai, Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hari Nama Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedānta ki jai, Nityananda Gaura Premanande, Hari Govinda Damodara Thank you all very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, and just to contemplate such a beautiful subject matter. We are indebted to each and every one of you for daily giving us the opportunity to do our Guru Seva, which is our life and soul. And we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Radhe
Radhe Radhe, dear Vaishnavas. Jai. Ki Jai. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.